Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to the official Do Good Better podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Kirby, with...
Abby Furchner.
You did it on the first
try. I feel
try.
like I say my name really fast.
You do.
Like, what is that?
I'm really glad that this podcast is actually recording with sound since we had it on mute for our really good discussion last time.
Really good one.
I'm kind of mad about it, but this is going to be equally as great. I feel like we got our practice round out of the way for this, our special Thursday edition, where Abby and I kind of talk about things in the nonprofit world, some trends or stuff in the world we relate to the nonprofit industry. And it's kind of a nice breakup between kind of featuring nonprofits or people in the nonprofit field on our Tuesday podcast. So welcome again to the official Do Good Better podcast. Things, stuff, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I just want to talk all about you.
That sounds terrible.
No, it's fun because I know some people know, but not everyone knows that you have a really, really cool opportunity / gig coming up. Do you want to share with everybody how spectacular you are?
No, I don't want to do that, but I will tell you how spectacular the event is going to be. I am going to MC the 2020 Chamber Choice Awards.
Yeah, I feel like we should insert cheering there.
Yes. Well, ironically, that is something that we should probably think about because we're going virtual, all virtual this year. Up until literally last week, we had anticipated like a couple hundred people in a ballroom because, you know, if you're listening to places that are not in North Dakota, we get to still, you know, do events up here. But in an enclosed ballroom with hundreds of people, we just thought, you know, this is not going to be as safe as it could be. So we're going to make the whole thing virtual, which has challenges all to its own, is trying to be dynamic in a virtual setting and doing that. But I'm super excited for the opportunity. It's going to be so cool. I get to announce like Nonprofit of the Year and a bunch of businesses and entrepreneurs. I have a book.
I was going to say, you have the secret binder.
I have the secret Bible book that is all the winners. That I'm not even letting you see, which is funny.
I know. I try to get a little sneak peek, and Patrick was like, nope.
It's not going to happen. So it's kind of fun. But it's kind of to hobnob and sort of be around the sort of the really interesting and awesome, successful businesses in town is going to be really kind of fun.
But you said, too, in that nonprofit section, what's really fun is a lot of them that were nominated were our clients that we work with.
I probably like more than half.
That's so awesome.
More than half of them are clients we've worked with, which is
exciting.
Great. So, and I have like a super relation. Like now, my mission is going to be like, well, who hasn't worked with us? Let's go get them.
Right.
Well, we've got to go find a reason to do that.
That's so fun. That's so cool. It's going to be so cool. But I know with virtual settings and virtual conferences, speaking gigs, whatever, there can be its own challenges.
Yes.
And I know you've obviously done a few in the past. It's with Do-Gooders Conference and throughout the summer. You have some coming up this fall. But does the virtual setting ever make you more nervous to speak in front of people because of technology and just because you don't have an audience, really?
Yeah, I think most people who like talking in front of people like the reaction they get from things they say. So whether it's a joke or a cool fun fact or like pausing for applause lines, like when you have, you know, really cool things to say, that's kind of helps you get along and kind of calms the nerves while you're up on stage. In a virtual setting, you literally have zero feedback on your jokes, your interesting fun facts, the way you present. And it causes a great deal, I think, of anxiety when people are trying to figure out how to do, specifically for fundraising events. If you're doing a virtual event right now, you're trying to figure out how to be engaging. It's so much more different and difficult to gauge in a virtual setting without some sort of guidelines and parameters. And I think one of the things that I've always held is always look at yourself and find some sort of like feedback loop where you can actually, what does your face look like? How's your tone? Are you using hand gestures? Too many hand gestures? Are you speaking too fast for like online? And I think one of the perspectives that you need to have when you're planning either a virtual event or you're planning some sort of virtual fundraiser or some sort of performance or engagement online is to put yourself in the shoes of those watching you more than anything. Because we all have the attention span of gnats. We all demand to be entertained in this virtual world that we live in right now. And so if you are putting on a show or putting on a speaking gig or doing anything that you would watch it back and go, that was just the most boring thing I've ever watched in my entire life, time to do it over, or time to adjust the way you present itself. And you don't have to be like a theater actor. You don't have to be that. You just have to be self-aware enough to like, is what I'm presenting or is what I'm saying boring?
Right. And it for those that have never put on a virtual event, or this might be their first time attending, or anything of that nature, I think what people don't understand is, as the speaker, on your normal Zoom calls, you know, you have all the little boxes. You call it the Brady Bunch box.
Yep.
Where when it comes to live streaming and things like that, you don't have that as the speaker. So when you're on Zoom and you say something funny, you can, even if they're muted, you can see them laugh.
Right.
You don't get that at all.
No.
So you're literally staring at a camera and you're like, I hope people are laughing at home.
That's super true. So this begs the question, because you have been a reporter for a number of years, speaking into a camera. Your camera guy can't laugh, I think, at your funny jokes. Well, maybe they can. But so how do you do that as somebody who's in professional news, or somebody who's been in reporting, and you have to connect story of importance or whatever into a camera with no feedback whatsoever, nobody like nodding, oh, that's really good or whatever.
Right.
How do you do that?
I always just try to remember, there are a couple things that I kind of remembered. One of them was that even though I'm talking straight at a camera, like I am right now, I know that other people are watching or hearing me. So trying to remind yourself that even though you can't see their facial expressions or you can't see them engaging with you, remember that they are, and they are watching you and they are listening to you. And so that made me feel more comfortable. Like I wasn't just talking to camera, but I really was talking to a person, whether that they were at home getting ready for work or you're watching this on YouTube right now.
Yeah.
Someone is watching. So just kind of remembering that, but I know that can give a lot of people anxiety. So I would always also at the same time, which I don't know if this is the best thing to do, but when I spoke at the do-gooders conference,
right.
I mean, that was in a crowd of people, but for me, whether it's speaking in front of people or it's speaking to a camera, I try to almost downplay the situation in my head, reminding myself that yes, people are watching me, but they are people too. And yes, of course you have those people that are like, man, you suck, get off TV. Like, of course you have those people, but a lot of them are wanting to actually, like, they get it. Like if you mess up, they understood. You're a human as well. So just humanize the camera, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can say it.
A lot of that is, if you ever take, what's the speaking club? It's like a speaking club where you like go and you learn how to speak. I don't know.
Speech class?
No, it's not. Oh. There's a group. Okay. I don't know what it is. I never joined it. One of the things that they do is they hammer in that you can't have ums or ers. And it's fine.
Yeah.
I say all the time.
I say like.
Like is another one.
Like is a crutch word.
But if it is authentically you and you're still passionate about what you do, it's okay not to be verbally perfect.
I would agree.
I really think that's another thing that people are so terrified about. What if I get the words wrong? How many times do I get words wrong all the time?
Awesomer is really not a word.
Awesomer is not a word. We made it up. And I still use it.
There you go.
But I think people are so weirded out by the fact, what if I stumble over things? What if I say too many times? What if I speak too fast? When I think you're talking about your nonprofit organization, you're talking why people should donate, that passion and enthusiasm need to come out first and foremost. Your perfection of performance, secondary to everything. I think that's what gets people really nervous about doing public speaking or public presentations. And in a virtual setting, I think it's even more authentic because you get a little more grace to be as authentic and as imperfect as possible, because this is sort of a new territory where a lot of people are fundraising or putting on events for, so you're okay.
Right.
Breathe. It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
It's going to be fine.
It's really not. And I just spoke at the Rotary Club a couple weeks ago, and I was so nervous. Like, it's hilarious. It's hilarious because it's like, I don't know. You wouldn't suspect that I would be nervous, but I really do get nervous public speaking. But just know that the nerves are okay. Mm-hmm. But everyone is coordinating and going through this weird time. And even after this, just remember that everyone says and pauses at weird times. Correct. Because they're confused.
Right.
So
it's perfect.
It's okay.
It's wonderful. Yes.
But I wanna ask. Oh, I have another question.
Yeah,
I have two more questions I want to ask you. But I want to go with this one first. Right. When was the last time, either in person or virtually, that you were nervous?
The last time I gave a speech. So I'm nervous all the time. I'm nervous. So I'm not the only one. No. Mine's more of like nerves of excitement.
No, mine's like, I'm going to pee my pants.
Right. But I'm always nervous. And in fact, the things that I've not been nervous at, or the times I've given speeches where I was overconfident about how awesome it was going to be, failed miserably. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. I was the best man in a wedding to my best friend, Jesse. And I was best man at a speech. I had been the best man at my brother's wedding a few months prior to that. And best friend wedding to another one. I was best man at another one. To my best friend, Mark, one of my other best friends, Mark, slayed as the best man speaker.
Okay.
Crushed. And I'm not even like, that's not even.
Everyone was laughing.
Everybody.
Standing ovation.
Literally standing ovation. It was unbelievable. I'm so mad that wasn't recorded because it was brilliant. So I went super overconfident into one. And I'm telling jokes to my wife on my way up to the wedding, going, this is going to be like the greatest speech ever. Mm-hmm. Sound was bad. Nobody could hear me in the back. I thought I was going to slay. And the only person I heard laughing was my brother, because I think he had like too many cocktails in the background. So you hear this, like, I'm like, I'd end to a joke. One ha in the back. I knew it was him. That was it. All I could hear. And I was like, my God, that was the worst thing ever. And then afterwards, they're like, that was really good, Pat. And I was like, don't patronize me. But I was, and to this day, every time that I'm confident about what I'm going to say and I'm not nervous, it's never as good as it is. Mm. So I'm always not nervous. And I think that has most to do with how excited I am about actually speaking or actually presenting, because I'm legitimately excited about doing some of this most of the time.
Right.
And I think that's the nerves of excitement.
And you had a really good piece of advice too, that everyone remembers the beginning and the end.
Correct.
So that's what you should focus on the most.
Really, that's all you should do, right? So if you're really nervous about what you should say, work on your entry, like your first bit, and then work on your close.
Get a good laugh, and then you're good.
Get a good laugh, or do something sentimental or really inspiring out of the gate. That's what you should work on. Nobody remembers the middle of the stuff. If you're doing a gala or you're doing something else, it's fine to get distracted by a bunch of shiny objects because, again, attention span of gnats. But the first part, get through that first part. It's easy sailing after that. Yeah.
I love that. I think that's really good.
Tips.
Okay. I'm excited to know this about you.
Ooh.
What is your nervous tick? Or do you do everything? Do you do anything on stage that you do every single time and it's just like a nervous crutch you have?
I use my hands more than most human beings do on stage.
Okay.
My hands, waving around person. I pace.
You do pace.
A lot. But I pace normally. Everything I do is authentic.
He's on a phone call and he walks in and out. He'll walk to the door, not go out the door, but walk to it, then walk back in and then go. I'm like, my anxiety is going through the roof right now.
Yeah, I will do that. I will speak very fast. I took a Dale Carnegie course on high impact presentations, and I've been beat into my head since then, on how to just slow down on stage, because I still have my teachers of Dale Carnegie in my brain. But I will my nervous tick is to speed up. And so if I just get really nervous, I'll just blow through sort of content as quickly as possible. Normally I speak fast, but it's only because I get really excited about stuff I talk about.
Gotcha.
So, but pacing is my number one tick.
I was always told I was too fast too, that I needed to slow down, that I needed to slow way down a lot of the time. That's what I was told.
But don't you think when you slow down way too much, it sounds like you are doing an impression of someone who lives below the Mason-Dixon line?
Yes.
I'm just gonna play real slow. Yeah, it sounds weird. But that's what it sounds like to me.
But it's so funny because I would listen to myself speaking really fast and then slowing down and speaking normally. Mm-hmm. And like, you really could understand me better.
Totally can. No, it's a great criticism. I hate it.
I hate it.
I don't want to hear it.
And
Get your opinion out of my
right.
face. But mentally, I can't get over the fact that it sounds so
like, that's how you think you
good.
sound.
Yep. Yes.
I get you. And I always had a microphone in my hand.
Correct.
So like, that was my crutch. Is like, I felt really uncomfortable without my microphone.
Yeah.
And so now, leaving the mic behind and moving into this, having to do speaking gigs where like you always wear a head mic, or what do you call that?
Like
you know what I'm saying.
the Garth Brooks mic.
Like a little one.
Yeah.
Around your ear.
Yeah.
Or like at the do-gooders conference, I was like, well, what do I do with my arms? Like, what do I do with my hands? I think I held a piece of paper because I was so nervous.
I usually hold a pen.
Oh, a clicker. I had the clicker. I love a good clicker because I can snag onto that thing for dear life.
But here's the thing. Record yourself presenting whatever you're going to present. You will figure out your tics really quickly.
Right.
Really quickly.
And so if you're presenting for the first time, even virtually.
Oh my God, yes.
Just literally record yourself on Zoom.
Yep.
Watch what you do, and then.
Yeah. And watch out for your face. Just smile. You know, practice in front of a mirror, but you're doing it in front of the video. So yeah.
It's awesome. Like when I was in dance. Smile, girl.
I'm going to do that across the office today.
Smile girl.
That's it. I love these episodes every Thursday where you and I just get to chat about this kind of stuff. It's great. Little couple helpful hints and tips and tricks on presenting today.
Wow, that was a lot of helpful tips and tricks.
So many. Hey, we'll see you next time here on the official Do Good Better podcast.